Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. And so to get things kicked off, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, and the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker, you don't want to say anything else or anything at all, that's okay. John is here. Welcome, John. Happy to have you here on this fine Monday evening. It is Manga Monday. So in the second hour, we'll talk about a manga that I have been reading and also some anime that I've been watching, of course, because it's a day that ends with Y. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you here as always. Appreciate you. And this could be a chill, relaxed Monday stream. Could be sparsely attended, and that's okay. If that happens, that happens. It is a Monday, and I'm mostly just happy to be here and happy to have you here. Tonight we will be continuing to work on the Plutine Gundam. You can see some of the Plutine Gundam there as my camera tries to autofill that. Plutine Gundam from Build Fighters Metaverse. It's new. And this is a cool looking kit. Great colors. It's basically like all my favorite colors to be on a model kit. And so I'm excited to work on that kit. Hey, Lord Crashedid. Hey to you. Welcome. So we're going to keep working on this. We're going to finish the core fighter part of it. I'll take a photo when the core fighter is done. And then we'll work on the armor that goes over the kit to really make it look neat. We're working on the arms right now. Most of the arms we can do all at the same time, except until we do the hands, because obviously the hands need to be interchangeable. And I have two options for hands. I don't know which one is better than the other. Actually, I have three options because one, I have like the hands like that, which is always weird, and I never use that hand. I always use the hands that hold things, because kits have weapons, and I want to hold those weapons, and it's weird to me that I don't know why anyone would choose the other one, but they can. It is their choice. We're gonna get into this thing. Yeah, let's get into it. All right. Yeah, we're gonna get into some model kit building, and we'll do some chit chat in here. Let me just check one more thing. Okay. And okay. All right. We are going to get going here. We're going to jump over to the main. Here we go. Here is the kit that we were working on. Plutine Gundam's got its backpack, got the holder for the beam sabers, and then we'll put that over there so we don't have to look at it for a second. And we've got our shoulders here and our arms, parts of our arms. And so we are going to continue to work on that. We can do, as I said, we can do a lot of this at the same time, which is very helpful. And there we go. All right, so we'll do that. We'll do that. And we'll do that. Great. All right, we're moving on. We're moving on to the next part of the build, which we need C33. And these are obviously the same, so we can do them both at the same time. Find them over here. There. All right, we'll get those going. We're just building out these arms. These are going to be where our hands connect, so we're going to make sure we put them together correctly. Small thing. Before we dive into the bigger topic, I don't know, the thing that will take a little while here. St. Patrick's Day. I'll talk to you a little bit about St. Patrick's Day, and then we'll get into this patch notes thing. That is the frequently asked questions thing that made me laugh a lot. I hope you had a nice St. Patrick's Day or a fine Sunday, if that's not something you particularly care about. I hope your Sunday was nice. My Sunday was excellent. We had company over. We had a big piece of corned beef cooking all day, and that was incredibly tasty. Just a real good time. We also had a shepherd's pie. Got plenty of leftovers, both those things. And soda bread and Guinness brownies and just like a lot of Irish and Irish American cuisine. And it was just overall, an incredibly good time. We had two couples from the neighborhood that my parents are quite close with came, and that was very nice. And it was just a good time, a good way to spend my feast day as a Patrick. Um, let's see what else. Oh yeah, also this uh, uh, incredibly sharp, excellent cheese. We had that as well. Irish cheese, and Irish cheddar that was very, very good. And we have plenty of that left over. And that is I mean, look, I had a corned beef sandwich for lunch today. We got leftover corned beef. Of course, we also had cabbage, but I'm not a cabbage guy. So I did not participate in eating of the cabbage, but we did have corned beef and cabbage, a very Irish American thing. Um, which was very good, and I want to make that clear. It was a good time, and I had a great time with everybody. But I didn't I went heavy on the food yesterday, and then last night just watched some wrestling with friends, which was very fun. Okay, so how does this go in? It's pointing me at one corner. None of this looks different. There doesn't seem to be a corner that's different. I don't know how this goes in. I'm just going to fiddle with it until I figure out how to slide this piece in. All right. It slid in like that, and I think that's right. That seems to be correct. Okay. And close her up, button her up. Great. Yeah, but I hope you all had a nice Sunday, or at the very least, except a nice Sunday at the very least. And if you did indulge in some Irish stuff, I hope it was fun. I wore a green shirt. Don't worry about it. You can go to my Twitter feed, or actually, honestly, any of my social medias, because I posted basically everywhere, except I didn't post photos in my Discord. But all my other social media stuff, I did post photos of, at very least, just the corned beef. So you could see that corned beef, how it looks. And also an outfit, that I was wearing. Post my outfits. I don't do that often, so I don't wear. Hey, you might be surprised to know this, but I don't wear a dress shirt that often these days. I do on occasion, but it's pretty rare. Mostly it's for when I am on a Zoom call and I want to look presentable for someone. That is generally the only time these days that I find myself wearing a dress shirt. So it was nice to dress up a little bit. I only own one green shirt. My other green shirts are in storage in New York, so wore the green shirt that I got, and tried to look a little fancy. It's a little put together, John says I need to get some work from home polos. Yeah, I have like two different dress shirts in different colors, one black and one a beautiful blue, a vibrant blue dress shirt. And then I have a couple ties. And then I also have a black polo. And that is my work from home stuff. Yeah. And obviously I have some nice pants, but you're not surprised to know that in these meetings that I am going to, or these interviews that I am attending, that I find myself wearing shorts, wearing basketball shorts while I am on the call, because it doesn't matter. Who needs pants these days, right? Oh, Lashbrick, I missed this. I'm sorry. I missed that you wrote that you spent most of your Sunday upgrading your PC and then was just too exhausted to enjoy said PC and went to bed early. Yeah, there's a lot. When I shout out to Wristfan, who's I don't believe he's here right now, which is fine. That's their prerogative. Wristfan got me off my wish list a new a cooler, a CPU cooler, and to do that, not only that, I basically had to take my whole ass goddamn computer apart to get at it and to take it off and then clean and then apply new thermal paste and put the new cooler on and then make sure it was wired properly. And then, I cleaned everything as well. It was a good opportunity to clean, but it was just like, ugh, God, that I like made sure that it posted, and then immediately I was like, and then I'm done. It posted, we're good, moving on. I'll look at this again tomorrow. And it was fine. Speaking of computers, we are chatting about computers. I want to tell you about a new thing that is in the Steam beta client. So if you're like, Pat, this did not show up for me, I don't know what it is. Well, Steam Families is here. Steam Families is available today in the Steam beta client. It is a replacement for Steam Family Sharing and Steam Family View. Steam Family Sharing was like it says, and Steam Family View was like it said. You could see what games you were sharing to people. Family View sharing was, sharing stuff between accounts in your household family. And now they're putting it all in one. Lesper says the wildest thing is I just plugged my current drives into it and Windows didn't freak out and think it was a new PC, and like I only had 2 drives that didn't install. Nice. John says looks like we all just discovered our new cousin Pat. Yeah, so you create a family and then you invite up to 5 family members, so it's 6 people in total. You can manage your family from your Steam client, mobile device, or web browser. And it is a way to share access between games. And if you have Helldivers 2, I'm going to use Helldivers 2 as my example game. If you have Helldivers 2 and someone else in the family has Helldivers 2, up to 2 people can play Helldivers 2 who did not purchase it but are within the family unit. So there's a family unit, you can go there. You can also have a adult account and child account. You can limit what games the children have access to. You can, and also there's a couple other features that are kind of neat. There is a feature that I didn't know they didn't have that they really should have had before, which I think rules, which is basically instead of having to one at a time, like your kid wants this game. Everyone's talking about this goddamn Helldivers 2, and your kid really wants Helldivers 2. Instead of you having to like buy it and gift it to them and then like, did it go through? Did it work out? Worrying about all of that shit. You don't have to worry about that stuff, because instead what you could just do is they just have a wish list and you could just hit buy all from their wish list because you're connected and just buy it through there. And you don't have to worry about gifting to the account or sending credits or anything like that. You just go like, yeah, all right, we're doing it. And I thought that was kind of neat. But yeah, you can add appropriate games. You can restrict access to the Steam store, community, and friends chat. Also, you get your own individual saves in the family sharing, which is cool. You get your own individual saves, so your computer has the save or your account has the save, and also mod support and all that. Yeah, the child purchase requests, which is a little streamlined thing. It's kind of neat. You can join it. You can just join the beta if you're in the beta, and it's fine. But so while I do think this is neat, and some of these things are features that I assumed they already had, but apparently they didn't already have, we're going to go for the pre-assembled hands here. And these should hopefully hold weapons. And if they don't hold weapons right, then we will swap out for the other hands. But we might as well just use the ones that are pre-assembled because they look pretty nice. They are, yeah, they're the same color, so why not? We'll just do that. Because there are questions. There are frequently asked questions that Steam is like, this is going to come up. We've got your answers here. And some of them are like, whatever. And a couple of them are very fucking funny. So we have to talk about that. Who can be in a Steam family? What makes a family? Steam asks. Well, they have an answer. While we know that families come in many shapes and sizes, Steam Families is intended for a household of up to 6 close family members. You know, so it's close. To that end, as we monitor the usage of this feature, we may adjust the requirements for participating in a Steam family or the number of members over time to keep usage in line with this intent. Which makes sense. Look, they're looking at it. What if they're not close family members in the same house? So that has not been answered. But I will say, well, actually, no, it has been answered. No, it doesn't matter. It's a house. It's not a. Yes, a close family, Lord Crashington, does not have to live with each other to be there. But a Steam family lives in the same house. That is a requirement for this. That's as of right now. That is a requirement. Can I leave a Steam family? Hey, Steam families are intended to contain your immediate family. Major life events can change the lives in your house. Who lives in your household? It is understandable that someday you may need to join a new Steam family, which is, again, it's the use of capital F family. Lord Crashington, you meant what if they hate each other? Yeah, that's fine. They just have to be in the same house. I thought you were saying, what if your family doesn't all live in the same house? And to which I'll say, sorry, that's not your Steam family. That's your real family. So adults can leave a family at any time. You just go out to get cigarettes and don't come back. It's cool. However, they will need to wait 1 year from when they joined the previous family to create or join a new family. So that's not you leave, you gotta wait a year. It's if you started a family and then you bounce, it's got to be a full year from when you started that family until you start a new one or you join a new one. Children in a Steam family cannot leave the family themselves and must be removed by an adult in the family or by Steam support. So like you can't be like a kid and just be like, I'm leaving this Steam family. These are games that I bought with my allowance and dad is playing Helldivers 2 and I'm leaving the family. No, you can't just do that. Sorry, kid. Okay, so here's the other thing, right? You're in a family, you leave. You can't join another one until 1 year after you were in that first family. But when you leave a family, you leave a hole. Because as it is rare that a family member leaves the family, each Steam family slot has a cooldown of 1 year before a new family member can occupy that slot. So I'm saying this. I'm telling you this. Something fucking terrible happens. Or something not so terrible. Let's say best case scenario. One of your parents is like, I want to be separated, I'm leaving. I'm also leaving the Steam family. And then like, it's tough, right? Everyone's feeling it and it's rough. And as a support system, your grandma moves in. Grandma now lives in the house. Grandma's here. Maybe you want to play some Helldivers 2 with grandma. And you got a couple copies of Helldivers 2 amongst you, so you can play. Sorry, Grandma, it's only been 3.5 months since we lost a family member to divorce. You can't join the family yet. That slot is gone. It is a reminder of what once was. Dad left, so now you can't be a part of this Steam family. Can I get kicked out of a Steam family? Yes. Adult family members can kick any family member out of the Steam family, and then that slot is ruined for a year. But yeah, if you start fucking around, if you are save scumming, and Uncle Jack is like, no thanks, don't like that, I don't like your gameplay, you're always hogging it. I'm the one that bought Diablo 4, and you keep playing Diablo 4 until the hours of the night, and I work hard. I'm kicking you out of this family. You can just do it. And then you gotta wait until it's been a year since you joined a family to join a new one, and they gotta wait a year before anyone else comes in. At least 2 people can play games at the same time. So yeah, well, 6 people can play games at the same time. It's just that only one person can play each game unless you have multiple copies of the game, right? So if you have 2 copies of Helldivers 2, it doesn't matter if we're in a family. If I bought it one and you bought one, anyone can use it. But it does mean that if I'm playing Diablo 4, we only have 1 copy of Diablo 4, you don't get to play Diablo 4. And that is better than accessing someone's library. You could only do that when they weren't using it. So this is better. You're right. This is a improvement on that. Oh, I thought I was going to build 2 legs at the same time, or 2 feet at the same time. It looks like I'm just building... No, I am. Okay, I'm building 2 feet at the same time. All right. Okay. I thought something weird had happened, but it didn't. I can build both these feet at the same time. The way it handles family members getting banned is pretty funny. Yes, Lashbrook, and I was getting to that. No worries. I'm going through the whole thing. But you're right. It is funny. Can we go through a real-world example of how a Steam family might share games? We'll just go through this real-world example. Here's a real-world example. Of course, I say to the question that I posed for myself. Let's say that you were in a family with 4 members and that you own a copy of Portal 2 and a copy of Half-Life. At any time, any one member can play Portal 2 and another can play Half-Life. If 2 of you would like to play Portal 2 at the same time, someone else in the family will need to purchase a copy of the game. After the purchase, there are 2 owned copies of Portal 2 across the family, and any 2 members can play at the same time. This makes sense, this to me. In this example, if your family chose to not buy a second copy, you can play any other game in your library while waiting for your family member to finish up playing your copy of Portal 2. And by that I mean you send text to your relative who's hogging Portal 2 saying, hey, it's my turn. I'm the one that bought it. Respect my boundaries. Okay. Which games are eligible for family sharing? Because not every game in your library is going to be eligible. There are some that aren't eligible. There's a whole list. It's a whole thing. This is going to be an ongoing fight, I'm sure, where people are like, we don't want to do it. And they'll be like, why? And they're like, oh, we don't have a good reason. We just don't want to. Yes. So because developers get to decide if they are eligible for this. So it is, and the list is pretty long. My assumption is that there are just some devs that don't care, and they just like, whatever. Or it could be that they are mature titles, but there's a long list. Let's see. Addition, not all games can be shared due to technical limitations. Titles that require an additional third-party key, account, or subscription in order to play cannot be shared between accounts. So some games that like if you have a Steam game that has to check against Ubisoft, it might not work. That, Ubisoft Connect or whatever. That might be something there. Or EA Play, maybe. Again, I don't know for sure. Do I need to share all of my games with my family? By joining a family, all games are automatically shared with the other members in your family. Adult accounts can use parental controls to limit which games each child in the family can access. But that doesn't change the fact that your entire game library will be listed. It's just some of them you won't be able to click on because of availability, and some of them you won't be able to click on if you're a child, and you can choose that stuff. But I need to make it clear, one of the reasons why someone in your family may be like, actually no, is because they got games they don't want you to see. They got some game library shit that they're just like, I'll do that soon. And they just go in and delete a bunch of shit, get out of their library so it doesn't show up, and try to get all traces of it off there and hide these things. So yeah, there might be some stuff. Exactly, yes. Or a game that, because this is legitimately a thing that I know has happened to some people, not to me, but it has happened to some people where they have been gifted games that are in their library, and they were like, I don't want this in my library, but it was gifted to me, and now it's just there. Because some people think that is very funny, and they're right, it is. Yes, indeed, Dirty. Okay, so this one is probably the funniest question, not just because, so all of this has been saying, like, as you've heard, it's been a family member, child account, family member, family member. This one is not that. This frequently asked question is, what happens if my brother gets banned from cheating while playing my game? And it's not family member, it's brother. Why is it brother? I mean, we know the answer. We know the answer to that, why they decided to say brother. It's just very fucking funny. And the response is great. If a family member gets banned for cheating, it should just say, if your brother gets banned for cheating while playing your copy of a game, you, the game owner, will also be banned in that game. Other family members are not impacted. Hey, if you're going to cheat, buy your own copy of the game to cheat. Don't be trying to cheat on my game and getting banned. And it does say for cheating, and I don't know if other bans are going to fly. Like if your cousin is just awful in the chat and gets banned, and you're just like, well, now I don't get to play my game. I don't know if that counts or if you can appeal it. You don't have to be online to share. Everything's gonna go over. And then it's just like, hey, I already used Family View. I already used Steam Family. It's fine. That's just gonna port over. But yeah, it's the what happens if my brother gets banned for cheating while playing my game thing that really, really tickled me, because it's just very funny to be like, what do I do? It's like, I don't know. Sorry, you don't get to play that game anymore. Tell your brother not to fucking cheat. Tell your brother to just get good and don't cheat in my game. And I think that would be really fucking fucked if you were like, hey, I can't log into the game. I spent $80 on this game, but like my roommate fucking got banned for downloading a cheat and using that cheat, and now I don't get to play the game anymore that I bought. Be a real bummer. And I honestly, because I saw a few people being like, why is it that like a space is empty but banned for cheating is mostly for multiplayer games, right? Yes, but you don't get to play that multiplayer game anymore, right? What if you want to play Helldivers 2 and you don't get to play Helldivers 2 anymore because someone in your family cheated in Helldivers 2 on your copy of Helldivers 2? So now you don't get to play that game that you paid money for because someone in your family cheated and got caught for cheating. So it's just like, don't do that. I guess the answer is don't. And that's why you remove them from the group. Yeah, but you still don't get to play your game. Other people in your family can play Helldivers 2 on the copy you bought. So I saw some people being like, I don't understand why it's that, like, someone leaves the family and that spot is gone for a year. Somebody leaves that family and you have to wait a whole year before you can jump to something else. Like there were some stuff that was people were confused about that, and really it comes down to look, it's limitations, because what they don't want it to be is, oh, hey, a friend of mine is staying with me for a weekend or a day, is just here for a day. Let's add them to the family so they can play this game. on their laptop while they're in the house, it's supposed to be meant for household stuff, right? Like, and I understand that and I get that because because it isn't, it's like, well, you just come and go and it's not a big deal. But if that slot is gone and you use it too often, then suddenly you don't have any slots available and it's not really worth it. And I think that makes a lot of sense. It solves that thing of like, roommates are roommates a family, and it's just like, well, roommates can be a family. I'm not trying to say that roommates can't be a family, but it is saying like, yeah, but you can't just like pop people in and out or a one-off or like, or whatever, or just like, I think it honestly makes a lot of sense. It's tough being a Steam patriarch. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where like, some of it feels a little like, yeah, all right, I get why you're doing this. But mostly I'm like, yeah, it seems reasonable, seems kind of cool. Yeah, because they are trying to prevent exploitation, right? Like, as far as I know, these accounts don't really exist anymore. But or it's much harder to get, right? But there was a time when, if you were a games journalist, you just had you could get a Steam account where you just got games, right? So it wasn't just like publisher keys. Yes, the esteemed press account, right? Yes, it was, and that was a solution, right? That was a solution that like, you as a publisher could opt out of that, but it made it easier to get access to games on Steam, and Steam thought it was great because it meant that more people were going to then talk about the games that were on Steam. And that is not, if that is still a thing, or a thing that new people can join, it is way more difficult to get that than it used to be. But like, if you lived in the same house as someone with a press account, you just get access to all those games. Or you could or if you're like, I'm going to make, I'm making a family thing here at work, and all my coworkers are now in my family. And like, if somebody gets laid off or leaves their job, then you got an empty, it's like, oh, well, now we got a restriction in there. Can't have, you can't join up because we got a slot that we got to wait a year before you can get in there. But I have no idea. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I have no idea if that is part of it. If like the press account thing works for that. We'll have to see. I'll have to hear from one of the people that still that I know that is press accountants and see if they can experiment with it. I mean, really, the thing is, I can't wait to hear from Vinny Caravella about how this works, because Vinny is the person I know who talks about using the Steam family stuff, because he has 2 kids who like playing video games, have Steam families in barracks or on ships. Yeah. I mean, like, that's why there's a limit, right? That's why it's up to this amount of people. That's why they could certainly restrict it in the future, because like, yeah, they want to make sure, because if you're thinking to yourself, well, Pat, like, I don't know, do you think like people are really going to abuse it? And to that I would say, yeah, I do think. I think that like people that are like, oh, we're living, I assume that like, well, we have the number low, we're just going to have our roommates joined, and then everybody, who's there can just do whatever. And you just have like a rule that you can say like, hey, you can play whatever in my library through this, but I might send you a text because I want to play that game. I think that makes total sense. All right, sorry, 1 second. Let me just. This overhead light sometimes charges while it's in use and sometimes doesn't charge while it's in use, and I haven't been able to figure out why. So I unplugged and plugged back in, and we'll see if that does it. But yeah, the battery should last for 2 hours, so Hopefully it will. And if it doesn't, well, that'll suck. All right, so I just have to make sure I'm putting this on correctly. This is going to go like that. Yeah. All right, because we want the knee to bend like that. So then this goes like this. And this goes like this. Okay. Just making sure I'm doing this leg right, because, yeah, that makes sense. The knee would bend like that. And then the leg would go. Oh, yeah, I got to put a piece in there. Sorry. Okay, I'm figuring this out, everybody, as we do it. But, yeah, people are always looking for ways to game the system, of course, right? But, like, yeah, if I was still in New York and I had, like, a long-term roommate, because I often had long-term roommates, of course I would do this with them, right? 100%. Like, if they want to play WWE 2K23, go the fuck ahead. Play WWE 2K23. I'm playing 2K24. I don't need to do that. But if you want to mess around with that, if you want to, like, mess around with, you know, like, a game that I haven't really, like, thought. If you want to check out an indie title that I bought, if you want to... If I was there and a roommate wanted to play Pizza Possum, yeah, play my copy of Pizza Possum. That sounds great. Have a good time with it. I think that's, you know, like, I would definitely do that. I would be very careful about who I was adding to the family, because that's what I'm about. You know, like, I would be very cautious about that stuff, because I would be worried about the slots, because that's the kind of dude I am. But yeah, I mean, if people wanted to, like, if I had a friend that wanted to pop in, you know, long-term roommate that wants to, like, you know, and then they can share their games library with me, and I can check out something that I really am interested in seeing, like, sure. You got to look out for the family. Yeah. There was a list somewhere. Oh, yeah. It's okay to share with roommates, close friends. I'd view them as family members. Of course. 100%, right? But, like, it's got to be the thing, like, in New York, I had times where I had roommates where we lived together for, like, 3 or 4 years. But I also had a string where I had, like, a rotation of the second bedroom where just people constantly came in and out. So there'd be, like, a minimum time where people were part of the quote unquote family before like we join in, and then I play Cyberpunk 2077, a game I don't own, but if my roommate owned it, I would be like, hey, I'm going to fucking check out Cyberpunk, I guess, because I don't ever want to buy that, but I would be interested in knowing more about it. That kind of thing. But yeah, if my roommate bought Pal World, I would be like, I guess I'll try. I mean, I probably wouldn't still try Pal World because it just doesn't seem for me, because I don't like the aesthetic around it, and I also don't like the genre particularly. So I probably wouldn't check out Pal World, but you understand what I'm saying. All right, no, that piece did not go on right. But yeah, if somebody, you know, if I was living with somebody that wanted to check out Balatro, I'd be like, yeah, fucking go nuts, enjoy. Don't play it while I'm trying to play it, but if you want to check it out, hell yeah, hope you have fun with it. And then maybe they buy their own copy because they really want to play while I'm playing and they can't. It's like, yeah, makes sense to me. And there, okay. There's the leg. Great. That's a big portion of this leg done. And then we'll move on doing the other portion of this leg. And we got a big piece of armor here to go. I did want to say, because I did have somebody ask me a question about this. Why, and I mentioned this on Saturday as well. Why is this so small, Pat? And the answer is, so build fighters, there's the concept of the core unit. So it is smaller than you would expect a high grade to be. Because it is going to have armor, special armor. In this case, the Plutine armor is going to come in on a transport, and then it will attach itself to make it a full-size, like 144 scale high grade that you would expect to see. So it literally is just like a small little guy. The armor comes on to make it a big friend. So this is Build Fighters Metaverse. Which I have not watched because I'm not big on the build bought. But it does have a scythe, and we like, Death Scythe is still my favorite mobile suit. So it's Death Scythe adjacent. Also, the colors are really nice. So yeah, I was like, oh, I want to build this. Again, I have done absolutely no investigation about like what this kit looks like, or not looks like, what this kit does in the show and who pilots it or any of that stuff. I know that it's the Plutine because that is the only planet that I think didn't have a armor. So they just finally got around to doing it. I believe that's accurate, but don't quote me on that. All right. That part of the leg is done. Yes, we got little legs here. Can't skip leg day, as John says. You can't skip leg day. You could, but it will be a strange mobile suit. You only skip leg day on the kits that don't have legs, because a couple of them don't. Like the ball. You skip leg day on the ball because the ball doesn't have legs. There ain't no legs to build. Anyway, that was to me the most interesting thing today was the frequently asked questions there. There's a lot of games on this list that are available for family sharing. I actually don't know how many, but it looks like a whole lot. This list just scrolls for a really long time. It's obviously not every game on Steam, but it's a lot of games. If you want to play Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, you can. You can do that. Mortal Kombat 1, on there. The Sims 3, yes. Hollow Knight, yes. Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide, yes. You can family share that. There are 3 episodes for the Metaverse, and it's piloted by the same person from Build Divers Rise. Oh, thank you very much, Saya. I appreciate that. First time chatter. Great information. I appreciate you very much for that. Thank you. There are 3 episodes out. Okay, cool. Yeah. I have not investigated because the Build series is not... The Build series gives us some cool, interesting takes on old kits. And I appreciate that. Are there any sex games on there that can be shared with the family? Lord Crashes, I don't know. I didn't look on the list. Yeah, Haro does not have leg day. You're right. Unless it's the one Haro that does have legs. There is the one exoskeleton Haro that does have legs. Includes bundles, hardware. I'm looking for select types to see if I can click on HDR. Family, we're looking at family sharing, narrow the tag, search for more tags. Adult, can I search for adult as a tag? Okay, no, that did not go there. I don't know if there are any adult games on family sharing, but I don't know. I don't know the best way to search for that. Also, you can search by deck compatible if you want to know. If you want to make sure that family games are also deck compatible, so you can share to your family members' deck. Which is pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. There is one other on my Amazon wish list. I have one other Metaverse mobile suit, and I don't remember the full name, but it's another one of those like. I'm gonna look it up. It's another one of those like kits that is. A take on an old kit with like new parts and new design, because that's the whole thing of the gunpla-ness of it. What do I have in this? Oh yeah, the Gundam Build Metaverse Shin Burning Gundam. It looks fucking rad. Let me see. Because I can't drag this image. I want to just drag this image, but it won't let me drag that image. But let's see. Can I? Yeah. Let's see now. Can I save this image? Got to save this image here. And then I got to go here. And this is still, I think, the best way, unless I use my browser to do something, which I don't want to do. I can make it a browser source, but it's just easier to do this. Where are you? There you are. This thing. Look at it. It's cool as hell. The Shin Burning Gundam. That is the new kit from Gundam Build Metaverse, the other kit that is available. And it comes with a lot of cool parts, including a beautiful, unbelievably gorgeous like flame blade, and it's got the because it's the burning Gundam, which we built. We have built the burning Gundam before, if you remember that. We've done that, which is the imagined like partner to the like the Rising Gundam, basically. And it just looks rad. It's got a big sword and cool stuff, but it also has effects parts, and I want to show off one of those effects parts. Again, this is on my wish list. Someday I'll probably just get it myself, but look at these effects parts. Look at this. Look at that. That's the effects parts for the foot, so it can have a burning foot, and that's the sword that it comes with, and that's a good sword. Thank you for researching, John. The Shin Burning is Sheki's machine. He was the main character of Build Fighters Try. Yes, it's a Build Fighter Try. And it's just a great looking. But that sword, that effect sword, looks so cool. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I would build that. Dirty just found out that American Truck Simulator is Steam Deck verified. Hell yeah. Metaverse is an odd series. We see people from every previous Build Fighters series show up along with new characters. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it is called Metaverse, so I wouldn't. The idea that a bunch of people have shown up for it doesn't super surprise me, because with the name. There are blue lasers in Helldivers 2, and that's weird. We'll find out more what's going on with that. There is there's a bundle on Steam. Let's see. The Excellence in Narrative IGF 2024 bundle. That's the Independent Games Festival bundle. And it's just like a really good bundle for Steam. A bunch of really solid games from last year. Only one of which I have played. I will admit, I've only played Venba, but a lot of those games look. The Highland Song I've heard great things about. The Wreck I have heard excellent things about. Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood is a new one. I'll admit I haven't heard much about that. But that bundle seems pretty cool. And again, that's Excellence in Narrative, the IGF 2024 bundle. Sandland is a demo. I heard good things about Venba and Highland Song. Yes, Venba was really cool. So that seems awesome. And that's between now and the 21st, if that bundle appeals to you. Yeah, I have not checked out the Sandland demo, but I know that Sandland demo was out there. And I am intrigued by that. So, it has no quests. It's just dropping you into the world. Yeah. Yes, from what I understand, the Sandland demo is just like, hey, get a vibe of like what it's like to be here, but it's not a vertical slice of the game. It is more just a like experience, which might not help with your buying decisions unless you're like, I don't know, the vibes seem good or the vibes seem off. Like, kind of check that way. Let's see. Oh, wow. An Apex Legend tournament was postponed after players hacked mid-game. One pro player was given an aimbot, while another was gifted wall hacks. A handful of pro players were hacked during one of the final matches of the competition, which was from the Apex Legends Global Series. 3 million prize pool, 60 countries and regions participating in the event. A couple of pro Apex Legends players, Gen Burton and Imperial Hal, were hacked in the middle of the North American finals. It's a strange thing to watch because instead of those hacks insta-killing them or otherwise breaking the game, it was giving the... So apparently they were hacked. They were gifted hacked abilities. They found an exploit in the game and the hackers are just messing with the players. Yes. And again, to be clear, they are messing with these players during a tournament. A $3 million prize pool and a bunch of people. So it's just like, hey, yeah. And it's one of those like, I get it. They're just messing around, but there are, money is involved. And so it sucks, is what I'm saying. He was gifted, again, Burton was gifted a wall hack, a cheat that makes in-game walls non-solid or just transparent. I'm getting hacked, he repeatedly said. It's cheating when asked if he could still play the game. And then he left the match. And then Imperial Hal found himself in a position of, he got an aimbot, which, gives you accuracy in shooting. And then he had to leave. I do like this. So apparently, instead of leaving the game, which people were like, you should just leave the game, Imperial Hal decided the best course of action for him was to just not shoot anyone, but still play. Which I was like, I don't know. I mean, there's probably not a handbook for this thing. But I would say, probably not. You should probably just not. Apex Hacking Global Series by Destroyer 2009 and Random with a 4 instead of an A. So R4 Ndum. And apparently Destroyer 2099 is a cheater who's been showing up in Apex Legends more recently, and players have clips of them wreaking havoc. And that's a bummer. A remote code execution exploit was used to inject cheats into the streamers' machines, is what they are saying, is apparently. Yeah. Yes, I would say there is probably not a general like, hey, this is what to do in this scenario. Like, I don't know if this has come up before, is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I think the best course of action is to just quit. But if you're like, well, it is an aimbot. If I don't aim, then I might still... because I can still contribute. And it's like, yeah, but probably not. You probably just shouldn't. But as I said, a lot of money is on the line, right? And so I understand the impulse to just be like, I can still do this. This is fine. Like, I get it. It is human nature to want to just continue when posed with it in a situation where you are forced outside of your own control to not do a thing. I understand that. Which allowed hackers, yes, it could be ransomware. But apparently, so this is the ACPD said the remote code execution was used to inject cheats in the streamers' machines, which could also, yes, of course, allow hackers to install ransomware. But the Easy Anti-Cheat Twitter account said, no, there's no exploit used. So they said, actually, no, it wasn't an exploit. So apparently, if you want to believe Easy Anti-Cheat, which I guess I don't, yeah, but they're saying, no, it wasn't us. And then neither EA nor Respawn has had any comment, to which I totally understand, because it happened on a weekend. And so I totally understand why they're like, so many meetings on Monday. Nobody wants to have these meetings. Totally understand that. Totally get it. But Yeah, and so it got postponed. Just sucks. Kind of just sucks all around. And all right, I'll put that there. And turn this around. And then we are almost ready to work on the waist of this kit. We're making some good progress here on the core. We still have to build the Plutine armor that it's going to go on and around it. But we now have the legs done. So we got arms done and legs done today. So we've already made some good progress. Just an hour into the stream. But yeah, now we have to build the waist, which doesn't take too much time. Then we can put the core unit together. And then we can start working on all of the armor that goes on this kit. Oh no, well, we still have to build we still have to build the weapon for the regular core, and then the shield, which also can ride on its back. That feels like a very weird, calling it a shield. This is one of these games, right, where you're like, or one of these things, right, where you're like, is that a shield or is that a backpack? Like, clearly a cockpit. Like, what are we doing here? But there is a thing that we can attach like a shield if we want to. But we will get that, moment. So what's going to happen now is, friends, is I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support what I do here if you are so inclined. Everything I'm about to tell you is optional. None of these things are things that I'm demanding you do it. But if you are interested in supporting what I do here, I would love it. Again, optional. You don't have to do any of these things. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build With Baer Workshop, like John just did, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe. If you're a Tier 2 subscriber, you get the blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to help me out here and support me because you're already here on Twitch through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with Twitch and you get Twitch Prime and you get the token you can use for anybody. And why not use it for me? You could also gift a sub. We are currently at 47 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers. I shut up about it at 50. If you want to become a subscriber tonight or gift a sub and join the gift sub leaderboard, you could do that. Bits and coins always appreciated as well. If you want to cheer and you want to be a cheerleader, you could do that as well, and that would be neat. Gift, and you can also gift anonymously if you don't want to take credit for your gifted sub. You can do it to somebody in the community. You can do it to somebody random if you would like to. There are other ways to support me, and I'm going to briefly talk about those ways right now. I have a Patreon, because of course I do. At patreon.com/PatBear, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon, and check, at the very least, click that link, check out the rewards. See if there's a tier that makes sense for you. Because I understand some people, they don't want to put money into Twitch. And I got you. I get you. I get you and I got you. Let's see. What else? Oh, I got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Obviously, subscribing to YouTube is free. You're welcome to join me there on on YouTube. There's also a membership on YouTube. For $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos a day early. So the video I'm putting up on Wednesday, you can see tomorrow. It's me talking about an anime. You should watch that video when you can. But that's the way to get it a little early. And there's also direct donations, because those are all ways to support me on a monthly basis, but maybe that's not your jam, that's not your style. But you could also do through Ko-Fi or PayPal, a one-time donation, and everything I make through direct donations, through AdSense on YouTube. So being a subscriber there, but also watching my videos helps me out. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I take money out of that fund to buy model kits, including this model kit right here. The Plutine Gundam is a Gundam that I purchased because I thought it looked neat, and it's got a scythe, and I wanted to build it. I have a backlog of stuff. Always happy to build from that. I've got a new kit coming, I believe on Wednesday, coming to the list there, the backlog. If you see something that you would like for me to build on my Amazon wish list, you can buy it there, and it'll jump the queue and become the next thing that I build. That's how that works. So you can go take a look at my Amazon wish list, see if there's something there you'd like to see me build. I make a dedicated video for my YouTube, and then, again, it jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I put together. I've got Lego sets, model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that never go on sale, kits that are on sale all the time. Did I recently just add something to that list? I can't remember. I think I might have recently added a couple things to the list of things that I would be happy to build. But I try to keep that list up to date to see if there's something there that you'd like to see me put together. There is a fairly inexpensive little mech suit Lego set that's very cute that I would be happy to put together. That I might get for myself at some point anyway, but if you want to get for me, you can. Also, that hot dog cart. The latest thing I added to the wish list, I talked about on Saturday, is the Machamp Mega Constructs Pokemon set. The Machamp's face is a nightmare. And so it's just like a sticker. Most of the face is just a sticker. I kind of want to see that in person. Consider it. My alternative to Amazon is Throne. I have a Throne wish list. Go check that out. See if there's something there you'd like to pick up on Throne. It is nice to have alternatives to Amazon. And the most convoluted way to support me, of course, is to go to USA Gundam Store. Buy a gift card. You get a gift card in your email. You send that gift card code to me via a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter, because my DMs are open, with that gift card code. And then I use that gift card code to... just see here what's going on here. Oh, I have a message request, and it's nonsense. I'm gonna block. I'm blocking this person sending me trash. Anyway, you can do that. Again, the most convoluted way to do it to me if you want. And then somebody replied to me that it's not fair that you get banned on Steam if someone in your family cheats. And to which I say, you shouldn't be in a family with a cheater. I don't think that's unfair. I think that's totally fair. Don't let cheaters play your video games, friends. But yeah, those are all ways to support me that cost money. If you just want to hang out in my Discord, I got a Discord. You're welcome to join that Discord. The link is going to be here in the show description of my VOD and also here in the chat right now. So you're watching this later on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? You can find these links in the show description. But yeah, join my Discord. It's a nice little place, and you're welcome to go there. I have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club up. I would love for you to... Okay, so I know that every time I talk about the latest episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, or I talk about this video series that I make every other Monday, I say, please watch it because I put a lot of work into it. I'm never lying, but I put more work into this one than usual, is what I will say. Because I talked about live action anime adaptations that are good. And I didn't just stick to that. I'm talking about shows and movies that I think are good and are readily available, that you can either stream on a service, watch on a site with ads, or rent or buy on a place like YouTube or Apple TV or iTunes. I did way more research, and there was a bunch of stuff that I would have liked to talk about, but I want to talk about stuff you could easily watch, and so I still end up talking about a few things that I think were good. So yeah, feel free to watch that video, Pat Baer's Anime Club, talking about the stuff that I think are good adaptations. Do I play with that a bit? Because a few things, hey, there is an anime for this, but this is based on a novel, or it's based on a video game that also has an anime adaptation. Sure, maybe I stretched it a little bit, but whatever. Most of the time, adaptations aren't based on the anime. They're based on the thing the anime is based on. So there's only so many originally anime out there that have live action adaptations. But yeah, I made it. Check it out. See if there's something, that video. That one required more effort than usual. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation. It is under a minute long video where I recommend something, usually with a theme. This month's theme is girls doing things, the fun subgenre of girls doing stuff. And I talked about K-On! K-On!, a modern classic, the light music club group that is silly and fun and sometimes even a little poignant. But I recommend that. So check out my video where I talk about K-On! Yeah. And then we're going to get back into talking about the anime that I've been watching. We're going to talk about a manga that I have been reading. And then we're going to talk about some anime that I have been watching. So we'll do that. And including the final episode of an anime that started, obviously, in the beginning of the season. It was like one of the first shows of this new season. Or then new season. So we'll talk about that. But before I get into the manga and the anime, I'm going to do... Whoops. Oh. We just got... you want to hit the dance button. I am going to drink some water, and then I will dance some John. I was just about to hit that. I'm going to dramatically transition the overhead, drink some water, and then I will also hit the dance button because John requested that. So we'll do that right now. And then the dance button. Need a bunch of C's here to get this waist together here. Oh yeah, get funky with it. 27, 26, 28. We'll get that together. Yeah, bang that cowbell. Thank you, John, for using your channel points in such a fun way. Always appreciate when people use their channel points for the silly thing. All right, let's talk about some manga or a manga, and then we'll talk about some anime. Let's talk about, it's an isekai, Heartwarming Reincarnation in Another World. Level count. Item holdover. I am the strongest little girl. Sometimes I don't include the full subtitle, but I really want to include this one because it's very good. Because level count, item holdover, I am the strongest little girl is such a fun. That's so fun. It's just fun to say. Oh, there it is. Here's the piece I need. Great. We'll go over there. So, what is Heartwarming Reincarnation in Another World? I mean, you kind of know, right? I think I told you. A shut-in who basically only goes to school and plays video games, has been playing an online MMO, obviously, massive multiplayer, game, and really loves it. She loves finding all the secrets of it. It's Christmas Eve. Is she out with friends? Is she going to have Christmas cake? No, she's not. She is doing a thing because there was a rumor that in one room that there's a room where if you use a pickaxe, it breaks no matter what. But there's one tile that might not break. And so our girl is going to figure that out. And she does. She finds an orb, but it doesn't go in her inventory. And instead of being mad about that, she's just like, oh, wow, there's something to this game that I didn't know about. Like, I found a thing that I didn't understand in the game before. There's probably other stuff in this game world that I don't know anything about. So I'll find out more later. And so she goes to sleep, excited about the next day, excited about spending Christmas Day gaming and seeing if there's other things that she doesn't know about in that world. And she dies. But is it related to the gem? We don't know. She wakes up as a baby in the world based on the video game. So a lot of the early chapters are her realizing she has her inventory, she has her skills, she doesn't have her strength, and she can't really optimize a lot of stuff because she's still a baby, but she is the world's strongest baby. And she's got a mom and a dad, and she is her character, but she doesn't look like an elf, and she's not sure what's going on with that, but she is an elf, but she's not quite sure what's up. And there are things that aren't, it's more fleshed out, right? Because it is a game world. Or because it is the real world now, that based on a game. But there's stuff that wasn't in the game world that she's learning about. And she's trying to figure out how the world works and all that. And the beginning, like I said, is her growing up a little bit, trying to figure some stuff out. Also, her dad is sick at the beginning. Thankfully, she's got her potions. They're really broke because he's a struggling adventurer and she's trying to make ends meet. And so they're dealing with that. Also, some shitty people show up because of course they do, because his mom is very beautiful and there's a guy that wants to kidnap her because of course. And so our little girl is like, well, luckily I have my cat outfit. She's got a cool cat outfit. So people think that she's a beastkin. They think that she's a cat girl. But she can wear that outfit and then she can like be invisible and beat people up and not have them see her and maneuver around and like take care of business. And that's basically like a large portion of the beginning of this is just her taking care of business and getting stuff done. Eventually we are introduced to an elf that is there that apparently has made a pact that she is going to look after our little girl because, hey, turns out the mom is an elf. She's under a spell to pretend to be a human. So that's why our girl has a spell where she's not revealing herself to be an elf. Her mom left. She's a princess. She left and fell in love with with the dad, who's just a dude. It feels like they could have their own manga about their misadventures, but they're very cute and the family is great. And a lot of this stuff happens when she's like 5. But basically she's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to take my guardian with me and I'm going to go explore the world because I am a very strong little girl. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. But like, come back and visit us. And that's basically what I've read, I think like 15 chapters so far. And the second half is there's a girl that was on like the cover that we didn't see before. Our girl meets a princess who's never had friends her own age or anyone she can talk to, and they become friends. And it's very cute because this girl is like, she's like pseudo tsundere, but not really. Because she is like, she would be tsundere if she didn't have a bunch of people in waiting, like maids and such, who are so openly excited for her talking to a little girl and making a friend. They're like, you can do it. Just tell her how you feel about this. And like just encouraging her. It's incredibly cute. It's so fun. Because they have cookies and a tea party together. And it's very fun and very nice. There's some monsters. There's a plot. There is where I left off, there have been cases of kidnapping. So that it's not all fun and games. Like the title, Heartwarming Reincarnation in Another World. The heartwarming part is there's a 5-year-old that kicks a lot of ass, and she kicks a lot of ass. And you're like, Pat, why is she exploring the world? Well, it's because she's a gamer at heart, and she loved this video game, and now she's in the video game. So she wants to see all the cool locations that were in, like, you know, the game engine, now in quote-unquote real life to her. So she wants to go explore the world and see stuff. And I imagine get into shenanigans as well. There is, now for some people, the very concept of this show, not going to work. Not your jam, not your style. I get it. I understand. Totally. You're not into the overpowered main characters, the cutesy nature of the main character there, the idea of isekai. It's not your jam. I get that. I don't agree with you, but I get it. Here's the thing. There is one problem with this. And it is that the elf who helps out our main character, she is not creepy, but she is overwhelmed by the cuteness of our main character because she promised the mom at like years ago that someday she would look after the offspring, which is a thing in their elf culture. She's been waiting for this day, and then it turns out the girl that she's supposed to look after is like very cute and also very focused and very tough and cool. And so the elf that we see a lot of is like annoyingly overwhelmed. She's like, oh, I need a minute. Like cute overload. She suffers from cute overload. And it's like, it's my interpretation of it is that it is not creepy. It is just annoying, but you might find that part creepy. And also it could get super creep. It could get real weird and real bad. I don't know. My hope is it doesn't get real weird and real bad, because I don't want that. I would like it to be a fun, chill little series that has like one thing I don't love about it. Like that's my hope anyway. Um, but that is Heartwarming Reincarnation in Another World, level count, item holdover. I am the strongest little girl. And I think it's pretty fun. All right, as I assemble this gun, and I'm going to panel on this gun, I'm going to put a sticker on this gun. I'm going to pull out C8 because I need that for the next part, so I'm just going to pull that out now. I will tell you that we're going to move on to talking about some anime that I have been watching. Got 3 anime to talk about because Thursday I didn't talk about anime at all, which pushed it back on Saturday. Here we go. We got Unwanted Undead Adventurer, The Strongest Tanks, Labyrinth Raids, and Fluffy Paradise. I do want to also say one thing that was kind of neat about Unwanted Undead Adventurer. So as you know, I do notes. I take detailed notes as I'm going through. And then what I do is I take very detailed notes, and then I try to summarize, and I try to move things around. I don't write down all of the thoughts I have. I just try to kind of keep the loose plot of the episode, and then also interject here and there with thoughts that I have of the piece. I was looking for a character name because I couldn't remember what the character we get introduced here, what her name was. So I was going on to the Wikipedia entry, and I realized that the person that had been doing the summaries, because I looked at it, didn't do this episode summary. So I did it. And that's a first for me. I don't ever contribute to Wikipedia pages. So I contributed to Wikipedia by putting in the episode summary because somebody hadn't done it. And so I had to edit my summary down even more to work in there and restructure a few things and take out some of my conjecture. Also, we're going to talk about the 12th and final episode of Fluffy Paradise today. But this is the 11th episode of the Unwanted Undead Adventurer, so we'll finish this up this weekend. Because if there are any shows with 13 episodes, I'm not watching any of them. The only thing is Freerin had 28 or whatever. So we're almost done with Freerin, unfortunately. But right now, Unwanted Undead Adventurer from this past weekend. Rhett is stuck in a mysterious garden. He has a client who wants to meet with him from the Latour family. And in order to meet someone from that family, he has to make his way through this ever-changing maze. Because it's not just a regular maze. He saw it from overhead, and he had it memorized, but it's not working out for him. He's not sure where he's supposed to go. Eventually, he finds his way into the center of the maze, and he speaks to a young, well-to-do woman, someone who's dressed well. She offers him tea if they take a break, and he finds out that she is a big fan of mysterious objects, magical items that you find in labyrinths, including the fact that this maze is definitely a mysterious item. So he is... So he learns a little bit about that. She asks about the mask. And then he receives the same hint from her that he got from the groundskeeper of do not trust the sun. And eventually he realizes by looking at the sun and how sometimes the sun moves, it seemingly moves in the sky, the sun isn't moving, he's moving. So the map he kind of planned out in his head of how the maze works, he can't be using that, and he should have learned that sooner. Eventually, he does figure out how to maneuver within there. He gets out of the maze, and he's at the front of the mansion. And who's there but the young woman he talked to? She is the head of the family. Her name is Laura, and she is 100% obsessed with collecting magic items. He has been promised a magic item for completing the maze, so they go down to the collection, and there's a lot of them. They look at a bunch of items. He sees one that's kind of cool, but he passes on it for a while, or he's like, let me think about it for a bit. He accidentally activates a golem, and then he's ready to fight that golem, but they get it under control. He doesn't have to defeat that golem. He was ready to do that. So there's some shenanigans. Eventually, an item, and not even a magic item, just an item catches his eye, and it's a vial of vampire blood. And the monster inside of him calls out for that, like it is drawn to it. He knows and he doesn't know why, but he knows if I take that, I will evolve. I will take this. And there's some warnings about it. It's risky, of course, to do that. It turns out that he didn't choose that. He chose the mana-controlled blimp as his reward. And there's a bit of business that they're like, oh, you know how there are blimps in the West? And they look like blimps. They're just big blimp travel machines. He's like, yeah, they're based on this item. This is a magic item where you use your mana to radio control. They don't say radio, but that's what they're talking about. Radio control this this blimp around, and your eyes can see what it sees. And it's not practical for scouting. It's mostly just cool. He gets it because he's just like, I don't know, the young boy in me would definitely want this, which I just think is fun. We don't really see the silly side of our guy that often. So it's nice to have a little silliness. But also, we quickly find out he also got the blood vial. He was also gifted the blood vial. He got both things, and he is pretty ready to take the risk to consume that to evolve. And Lorraine, the person that knows his secrets, the mage who has been helping him, who we know is in love with him, which he doesn't know, is like, I really wish you wouldn't do this. I wish you wouldn't take that risk. I don't care that you're a monster. You could just stay this version of a monster as long as you wanted to, and it will be fine. But I know that you want to be a mithril class mage, that is your dream, and that this is not going to stop you from that you want to be that big old mage, or that powerful mithril class mage. That's your desire, that's your dream, and so you're going to do this. I know you're going to do this. And that's how the episode ends. We have one more episode left. I can tell you the manga is past where it is in the anime. There's more manga than the anime. So I know what happens loosely in the next episode, although they might. A thing that always has to be taken into account is, one, if it's based on a light novel, sometimes the light novel and the manga differ. And two, sometimes the anime just makes up some stuff to close things out, because maybe they're like, we definitely don't think there's going to be more of this, so we're just going to close things out here on this thing, and we'll add something, or we'll skip ahead from the manga and just do this other thing. The thing that I always talk about with that is, it's almost Spider. So what? They made a big change, but that was not from the manga. Reincarnated as a slime had a 2-core, and they definitely didn't need to have all of that. And so their solution for that was, let's jump ahead to tell a small story, and then later in season 2, if we have a season 2, we'll just jump back. And it was a breakout hit. And of course, there's been more seasons, and we're getting another season this year. But basically, they did like a bunch of the light novels and then skipped a bunch of shit and then had to go back. So season 2 was like a flashback and then back to the quote unquote present. And it was a weird choice. They had to make a bunch of weird choices there to get that done. All right, so it goes like that. And then I need E1. And this goes here. So I'm doing the shield that is also a backpack, that is also definitely a thing that looks like it would transform into a flight, the cockpit. It's a bunch of shit. We'll get that on there. Now we'll move on to talking about the strongest tanks Labyrinth raids. This is episode 11 of 12. And this series is way past where I'm at in the manga, where I've read in the manga. So it is full of me just like not quite knowing what's going on, and that has been very fun for me to just be like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. And then good green color. Look at this good green color. Okay, so there are a bunch of homunculi were saved and given jobs. They are slowly being accepted into the town, which is great. Rudd trains in his new abilities in case he has to fight the Demon Lord Greed, which he assumes he will have to fight Greed at some point. So he's training. He does have to be careful because these new abilities, or at least one of these new abilities, could turn him into a monster or make him lose his consciousness. And so he's got to be careful about that. Everyone's going to be careful with that. He donates some of his Labyrinth points, which he normally would use to strengthen the labyrinths that he's in control of, because he's in control of 2 of them. Instead, he decides to use them, or some of the points, to gift some familiars, some monsters, to the twins, or to Nin and Lily, to help them out. So Nin gets a wyvern named Bayvern, which is not that great of a name, and a devil fairy named Lufair, which looks pretty cool. I would say that the character design of this, I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. I was like, that's pretty rad. Oh, we got one sticker to put on there, and we got to panel line this whole thing. Obviously, we'll get it together and then we'll panel line it. Almost ready for that. Let's see. There's a whole thing. The bathhouse is done. The homunculi are the employees of the bathhouse. Men and women are supposed to be separated. A bunch of men are trying to spy on women. Rudd tries to stop them. But of course, in very comedic, this is the episode with people bathing. Bullshit. He's the only one that gets in trouble. Of course, he's the one in trouble. Hijinks ensue. It's a very trite scene, but fine, and not that it's not like it goes long. Let's see. The fun times are over though, because a horde of monsters show up, and the village guards and a bunch of adventurers in the town, and also importantly, a lot of the homunculi that are good at fighting show up to defend the city, which is great. Amon says, hey, these monsters came from a new labyrinth. Most likely Greed is behind this and sent these monsters to attack you, to rile you up. Rudd increases the defenses of the city by basically making monsters in his labyrinth do some fighting as well, which is cool that is something he can do. Let's see, I need 5. The fight's like pretty short. It doesn't take too long to do that, but by using these abilities of his aura is getting darker, and people are starting to get worried about what's going on with our guy here. What's going on with Rudd? He's basically like, all right, we're gonna go beat Greed. Like, we can't keep doing this. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna fight Greed. We're gonna learn about what's going on with this other country that made all these homunculi. We're gonna figure this shit out fast, and we're gonna get this done. Let me panel line this before we add to it. Let's see. Marius and Amon, who are both the former demon lords, are going to stay and protect the town, and Rudd is going on a small crew with just like some of the humans, and then also the strongest warrior among the homunculi decides to join them, which is great. It's good to have a little bit more help in this. And then they go in the labyrinth, and it turns out this new labyrinth is just one floor. No monsters except for greed. It is just a party that they're invited to. So I guess that's going to be most, if not all, of the next episode is fighting greed, which is convenient, because there's only one episode left. But like, also, I don't know, it doesn't feel anticlimactic, but it does feel like I wish they had introduced greed like a couple of episodes ago. Like you planned all this out. You could have dropped some hints that there was about what's going on here. I mean, it's more natural this way, I guess, but I don't know. It feels a little off to me. But I am looking forward to the last episode of this because, like I said, I've liked the action we've had in here. This has been a good show. It's not my favorite of the season by any means, but I have enjoyed my time with Strongest Tanked Labyrinth raids. Now, the last episode of a show that we'll talk about here, our first final episode of the season, is the 12th and final episode of Fluffy Paradise. Somehow, unbelievably, we're done with Fluffy Paradise. Episode 12. So, the big battle between the humans and the kobolds ends with some kobolds surviving, but a lot of them are dead. And Nema is just devastated. Shinki casts lightning, which apparently that was what happened in the previous episode as well, to knock out the soldiers, and so some of the kobolds escape. Nema blames herself. She could have done more. There's so many dead kobolds, but basically people are like, you got to let it go. You just got to keep trying and try harder. And then so she kind of rallies people saying like, okay, we're not done here. We didn't get all we wanted, but we did survive. Her plan is to have the kobolds moved to the sanctuary that she has been figuring out, so that they'll be safe from humans, except for adventurers and part of the natural part of it, the ecosystem, basically. Let's see. Cicely asks for Nema to accept service from her adopted sister, who we met before, who was kind of rude, but then kind of became friendly. So now we have a young kobold joining the crew, and that kobold has been named Spica. And then also Go and Roku, who had already had names, are given new names, which is weird to do. But they're given new names, and so everybody's getting a power up, and you'll be strong, and now we have new friends. So we do get some fluffy friends. There's evidence that the fight was staged, that someone like made this happen, that kind of riled up the kobolds to then rile up the humans so that everyone would fight. There's definite evidence that this was a plot, which we all kind of knew, but now we have some receipts for it. They go to a banquet hosted by the extermination squad because they believe they killed all the kobolds. Shiki goes and spies on the general. She has I don't want to call it a meet cute, but she meets up with the character Luck from the battles, and they kind of bond a little bit. It's a little meet cute-ish, a little bit. People meet up, some characters reunite, and then Soul, the dragon, shows up, who we haven't seen in several episodes. Soul shows up, and Soul takes Nema on a ride to show her the rest of the world. And she vows that she is going to continue to have a place where humans and beasts live in peace together, or at the very least a beast sanctuary, which is the mission she was given by God when she was reincarnated in this world. And that's the end of the series. And it is... So, if the idea of a show called Fluffy Paradise, if you heard the name Fluffy Paradise and you were surprised to find out that it is not super cute, that it is cute, but also has a whole lot of monster fighting and stuff, that you might be, this might not be it for you if you were looking for just the cute stuff, because it is not fully a cute series, but there is some cuteness to it. There is some fun to be had in it. It is just not, unfortunately, as cute as I was hoping it would be. Yeah, it's not cozy, is what I'll say. There's a lot more action and violence in it than I was expecting. But I did enjoy it. I don't know if it's my favorite show of the season. I don't know if it's going to be one of the shows that next month I suggest that people watch. God, this thing as a shield is so fucking big. Why is this thing so big as a shield? It's so big. And then, of course, the issue that I end up a lot in with these cores is that sometimes the chest piece there wants to pop apart. But yeah. So here's one look for this thing with its shield that it can't really hold up much. It also goes on the back of it, but let me take a photo of this here. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you enjoying? What's got you going? You go to the movies of the weekend? You have a nice St. Patrick's Day? What are y'all into? What's up? What's going on? I always like hearing from you about those things, so let me know. As always, I have been playing some games. I'm playing a lot of Hearthstone leading up to the new expansion that's coming out for Hearthstone. We got a new expansion tomorrow. Whiz Bang is coming out. And I am going to be streaming some of that at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That is my Tuesday stream. Will be Hearthstone. Got a new expansion. Pretty excited about that because I do enjoy the Hearthstone. So we will be checking that out when I stream it tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I'm still like playing. Usually on Monday, I play a lot on Monday because I try to get through my daily quests and my weekly quests. But I save them because with a new expansion tomorrow, there will be a point where the things reset, and there will be a new tavern. Basically a battle pass, but they call it a tavern pass. There'll be a new tavern pass starting up tomorrow, and so I want those weekly quests to get completed for the new one, so that I can unlock a bunch of stuff. So that's the plan. There is I want to get that going. So that'll be what I end up doing a lot of tomorrow is getting some experience so I can get some items for that. Oh, so this has got to go like this. That's what it does. It goes like that. And this goes like that. So now we have the backpack on here, and we can take a photo with the gun. This kit, yeah. This thing is so wide. It does not want to stand up with the shield like this. It's so awkward. But we'll take a photo with the. We'll do a dagger photo. We'll do a dual daggers, or just one dagger. Dual daggers. We'll do dual daggers. So now I gotta take these out, and then I can make these daggers. I'm gonna take the back thing off because it looks really weird. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, so I'm getting prepped for my stream tomorrow with some Hearthstone, playing more Helldivers 2, of course. Found some cool CPUs, some created wrestlers, some CAWs in WW2K24. So I got those downloaded and messed around with that a little bit because, when I download them, I still have to go in and make sure they have cool names for being announced. And they have cool entrances and all that. I don't usually worry about their move lists so much, but yeah, I'm going to take this part off. I don't like this backpack situation is bogus. So and again, I might get some blue tack here and just kind of tack this waist together because this waist pops off so easily, and blue tack will help with that a little bit. But yeah, we'll get a secondary photo here with this. But yeah, this thing just likes to pop off in ways that I don't enjoy. So we'll take another photo here. And I will read all of your, what you've been writing here in a moment. Let me just get another photo done of our dual dagger setup here. We can still put the gun there so you can see the gun. Great. Because we are going to set up for flight mode. We got to set up for flight mode here, so we'll have to get that together so we can do that part. This goes like that, and then this goes like that. Right? Yeah. Yes. Now we'll have flight mode ready to go here in a second, so I can get that together. While I read what y'all wrote, Lord Crasher says, I got a great legendary Joker in Balatro, which I'm still taking a break from, but I will get back to Balatro at some point. But yeah, I'm taking a break from that game because it was infuriating me. You got a great legendary Joker that negates the boss blinds and somehow fucked it up. Ghost Valve started BoJack Horseman, went for more in-person magic, which I got back from about 20 ago. Ghost Valve, I'm so glad you're playing more in-person magic. I hope you're having a ball with that. Hell yeah. Also, hi, Ghost Valve. John says, been playing Unicorn Overlord and Supermarket Simulator. I have not heard of Supermarket Simulator. I might investigate. I am on a game. I am on a game purchase restriction here. But I can at least look it up because I don't know about that game. So I'm going to write it down. Copy and paste. Let's see. You've been building the HG YF29 Valkyrie from Macross. Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Make that Macross. That rules. Lord Crash says, I watched Damsel on Netflix, which was a fun movie starring Millie Bobby Brown. Nice. I have heard of Damsel. I have not checked it out myself, but I have heard of it. So that's cool. Aristofan says, I finally unlocked the checkered deck and Balatro, 26 hearts, 26 spades, and now I've discovered Flush House. I'm looking forward to Dragon Dogma 2 this week. Yes. Yes, the DD2 is coming out. I think someone said GD. Yes, I'm at GDC. Gonna Dragon's Dogma C2 was, I believe, what they said. Because yes, they're gonna play. Basically, they're gonna play Dragon's Dogma. All right. So, how does the construction work? All right, we turn our fists out for some reason. We'll do that, and then we turn our legs around, which we'll do there, and then it separates because, like I said, I gotta put a little blue tack in here because this just keeps separating. All right, so we turn that around, we turn that around. Or maybe we're supposed to turn the arms around. I don't know. No, that looks right. Just turn the hands. And then we point the feet out. Like this. No. And then it's like, all right, and you bend this up. This, and you bend the legs up and down. Why is that? Turn that in. It's a flight mode. Is this going to look good? Of course it's not going to look good. It's a flight mode. There's no good there. The Kyrios is an okay flight mode because the shield is not the cab, it's on the back of it. Like the Kyrios flight mode, I think is probably my favorite because it's like, whatever. Last person says, I was just messing with the DD2 character creator. Kind of bummed you can't make someone really jacked. Like I can't make a good modern Zorro. Oh, that's a shame. Well, maybe there'll be some editing to it. The Macross one I'm building, you can sort of transform into different modes, but you can swap a bunch of stuff between them. You have to swap a bunch. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's annoying. All right, so I mean, as always, this is just like you just bend a bunch of stuff up and you just you put some wings on the top of it. Like, that's just kind of what this always is. Okay, so does it go like, it goes like, it folds up, so then this goes here, and then that attaches. Okay, so this goes up, and then and then this separates because, like I said, I gotta do something there. All right, and then this goes up like that. And that goes to this part, and then this goes to that part. Okay, so I understand that. That works. That works. Okay. And then these fold back. I missed that step. These fold back. And then this part I've always liked about these kits is that the gun slides in. I think this on a core fighter is very cool. It is the only part of the flight mode that I think is any good at all, is that the gun sits in right there and then it looks neat like that. And that's the flight mode. And then you use the spring in the groin there, the spot in the groin to, like, have it attached. I think the fact that the hands are like this is very funny. I think this is funny. Turn it over there. I think that's very funny. Tell us what you actually think about flight modes, says John. Yeah, I don't like flight modes. I never have. So that's the main thrust of this. We built the core. We turned it into the flight mode for one time just for a photo. And then we're going to move on to building all of the armor that we need onto the satellite system. So the Pluto armor will go on the satellite system. And we'll build all that out, put all that together, make it look really neat. And then we will take all of it apart and then put it on our kit to make a big, cool adult kit, basically. So yeah, we just have to take a bunch of stuff off, take a bunch of stuff out, remove a bunch of things, and then add it in, and then it'll look super dope. And then that'll be it. And we can also take some of the stuff off the shoulders to make them weapons, but we'll probably just keep them on the shoulders because it looks neat. I'll have to take a photo of this. I'll do that once the stream is over, of the flight mode. I don't think it's terrible. I just don't think it's great. I've never really been super keen on this. As I said, the Curious Gundam, I think, looks actually pretty neat. It helps it's a master grade. They didn't even do a good job with the Epion. The Epion two-headed dragon doesn't look good, and that's a real grade, a modern real grade from last year. It's just very hard. I just think it's incredibly difficult to do. So I'm not surprised that it doesn't get done. Anyway, I'm going to take a photo of this right now. And then we will, on Thursday's stream, we will continue this kit, and we will continue this build. But Tuesday is the next stream. Tuesday is the next stream. It's tomorrow, playing Hearthstone. Hope you'll come hang out for that. But that is going to do it for tonight's stream. And what do we do at the end of the stream? We raid. We're going to go on a raid here. We're going to go find someone doing cool shit out there that we want to go hang out with. And we will go spend some time with them. As John says, we always end with a raid. I encourage you to come along on this raid, find some cool people, hang out with us as we go and find somebody excellent to go spend a little time with. Mary is not streaming, looks like. We often raid Mary Kish on a Monday, but it is not Mary Monday tonight, apparently. But Mary Kish was streaming for her birthday, but ended a bit early to go get some dinner. Thank you for the heads up, Lord Crashen. I appreciate that. So we won't be able to go raid Mary, but we'll do it next time. Instead, we're going to go raid. Hey, my buddy Jordan. Jordan is streaming. Jordan is playing Elden Ring. Okay, sure. We'll go hang out with Jordan as Jordan Elden Rings. So please, please come along on this raid. It'll be a good time. Come hang out as Jordan fights a bunch of nonsense in Elden Ring. Come back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern for Hearthstone. Got a new expansion, new decks, new fun / bad decks. I have one that I saw a streamer theory crafting that I am going to spend whatever I need to make happen because it looked like terrible. It looked terrible in the best way possible. So that's tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Hope you come hang out for that. Thanks for coming along this raid. I'll see you in the future. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.